beautiful. Hi, I'm Dr. Yolanda Cintron, and this is my beautiful patient.
Hi, I'm Megliz Owak, and I've been coming here for almost 10, well, actually more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is your oldest?
My oldest is 13 years old.
All right.
Yes.
So I have seen your 6 children. I've seen you through 6 pregnancies.
Yes.
So that's so beautiful. You know, I wanted to speak to you because, you know a lot about health
Mm-hmm.
and you know a lot about prevention and all these different things. So, you know, we have things that we cannot control, like the air, the aluminum in the air,
Yes.
and the water. We can, filter it and all these different things. But from a dental point of view, there's
Mhm.
things that a patient can control. So,
Yeah.
from your experience, share as a patient, your journey as a patient and experience with different dentists, and why is it that you come to us?
Yeah, well, actually, I'll never forget when I first discovered Dr. Cintron. I was at a regular dentist and they told me I needed a root canal. And I was like, I thought that's only for like old people. And I was very young and I'm like, let me call for some second opinions. So I looked up like holistic dentistry and I found you and I called your office and I said, hey, I need to get a root canal. And then I'll never forget what you guys said. You said, listen, we don't do root canals here, but I encourage you to watch this movie, The Root Cause.
Mm-hmm.
Watch that movie and then call us back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watched that movie, I was like, whoa, okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's like life changing. And I was like, these are my people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what brought me in. But I actually had probably, I think, 5 or 6 mercury fillings in my mouth. And that was probably the first treatment that we did together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that, that you're very generous, sharing because, this is private information, but
Mhm.
how it is legal in the United States to do root canals. That's something, a treatment that is rendered, as well as it is legal to have mercury. Now, recently, I saw on the social media that JFK was with Dr. Oz, and he was introducing Dr. Oz about the topic of removing mercury and accelerating that prohibition of using mercury because it is used in
Mhm.
the Indian tribes, and
Wow.
the Medicaid patients. So there's at least 1 million people getting mercury
Wow.
fillings every year in the United States,
Still to this day.
still to this
Wow.
day. So they were going to, propose for that to be phased out in 2034. But
Wow.
JFK said, why are we poisoning our people? And the European Union, it's composed of 27 countries. They banned the use of mercury
Mhm.
already in February.
Wow.
So, we're trying to, be ahead. There's other countries that have banned it for 20 years.
Yeah.
But, think about, he was speaking about how it's connected to attention deficit. Mercury, you don't want it in your fish, right? But how do you think it gets in the ocean?
Yeah.
The millions of mercury fillings that are removed every year, they go to the water. And then we have had a filtration system to remove mercury in our filters for 28 years.
Wow.
So, the EPA mandated a phase out for 10 years for dentists to apply a machine that costs like $1,500, $2,000. And they gave dentists 10 years to phase out. But why? It should be mandated immediately. So thank God, the 10 years have gone by.
Right.
So all dentists should have filtration systems. But still, we're eating whatever we throw through the faucet, then your babies get affected, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I've had a lot of dental issues over the years, and I think it all stemmed from those mercury fillings because I ended up having like a lot of thyroid conditions.
Right.
And I think, Dr. Cintron, I think you explained to me how it like affects, because your thyroid's right there, so it affects that. The mercury just like seeps down into it. So I went through a period of like a couple years where I was very, very, very sick. I went to like 10 different doctors. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. And they just kept telling me, oh, you're fine. You're just stressed. Take Valium. And I'm like, okay, I'm not the type of person to be taking medications like that.
Yeah.
And I knew there was something wrong with me. And it took me a really long time to find out that my thyroid was just like not producing anything at all.
Right. So that's a very good point. So this is the problem with mercury, right? So if you have mercury, it affects 4 generations.
Wow.
So if your mother had mercury, it affects you.
No
It affects your children and their children. So you having removed the mercury you know, it not only is going to benefit you, but all your children as you go forward.
Wow, that's
Same thing
amazing.
with your husband. So that's one point. Another point is mercury being a neurotoxin, right? It causes inflammation in the brain,
Wow.
and they find it in the actual biopsies that they have done with people with Parkinson, MS, and
Wow.
dementia. There's
Wow.
another item in the mouth that is called the bacteria P. gingivalis, that it has been also isolated in brains of patients that have been diagnosed with dementia.
Wow.
So the mouth is connected to your brain at many different levels. The
Yeah.
gums, if they're infected and have P. gingivalis, is going to go to the brain and cause inflammation in the brain. So we don't want inflammation on the brain. We don't want dementia. We don't want mercury in the brain, because that's connected to, you know, a lot of neurological problems, like you said, anxiety. So instead of telling people, you know, take a Valium or take lorazepam or a benzo, you know, the best way is remove the mercury safely. There's a smart protocol that we did on you,
Yes.
where we put a rubber dam and oxygen and sedate you so you're comfortable, and then after all the mercuries are removed, is the time to do detoxification. You have been doing detoxification for a while.
Long time now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the bad part about the mercury and the toxins and the bacteria is that this goes also to the bloodstream. And we have many patients with eczema and skin problems, and even their children, because it's connected to the first, it's like having, you know, a river on top of the mountain, right? And the river is contaminated with mercury.
Yeah.
So all that water going down,
It's going everywhere. Yeah.
and then it goes to the children. So I thank you so much, because, you know, you have been with us for many years, and we can see the improvement in their health, but we also have seen the impact in the children, you know, with the contamination. So we are very happy that you're in a great place now, and you know
Yes.
so much, and
So
you are
much better.
generous sharing. What other things, you know, after you get the mercury out and you do detoxification, what other things you want to share with our clients here that is good for them to do, because you know a lot?
Yes, I mean, definitely finding the right doctor, like Dr. Cintron, who can do this procedure right, because it's very dangerous actually to take that mercury out of your body. So you don't want to go to someone who's not very experienced with it, that can protect you, your body, and their body as well. So you don't have to keep redoing this procedure. And I honestly, I can't go anywhere else, because I just trust Dr. Cintron and her team so much that like I just need their opinion. So finding the right dental partner for dental excellence is very important. And just, you know, just making sure that you're finding the root cause of your problems. That's very, very important. Not just taking, you know, a doctor's advice of just, here, take this pill, take that pill. Like, what is the root cause? And so that has been like my overall journey with my health, is like finding the root cause of like a lot of my different issues, because, you know, I started very young with like a autoimmune condition, like psoriasis, which is kind of like eczema. So when you already have,
your body's telling you something is wrong.
yes, exactly.
It's not that there's something wrong with your immune system. It's your body says something is wrong.
Yes.
So it's like giving you an alarm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like you've been so helpful with my daughter too, because she had some environmental toxins. We were living in a moldy house, and she had swollen adenoids. And the first thing the doctor says, remove the adenoids. But I said, no, I need to talk to Dr. Cintron and see what she thinks.
She
said,
needs those.
Absolutely not. She said she needs
no.
those. Yeah, and that's just that is the body saying there's something wrong. And we knew the problem was the mold in the house. So getting her out of that environment was very important. So yeah, just overall, like finding the root cause is just so important. It takes a long time. It's like a journey, but it's worth the investment in yourself for your long-term health.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you hit something very important to us. You know, for me, trust is everything.
Yeah.
And the reason that we photograph everything we do is, I remember my Ali's father, you know, he had 16 mercury fillings. And I remember him telling me, we're out of dental school, that a dentist put 16 mercury fillings on him and he didn't need it. And I was like, but how can that be? How can somebody put a filling if you didn't need it? So that really concerned me, right?
Wow.
Because I figured I don't want my patients to ever doubt that I did something without needing it. Because for me, my integrity, my word, is everything. If somebody doesn't trust me, I'm devastated. So we do a lot of photography. And I learned that very young. So I have been doing, and I think that's what has really created a very loyal following of patients, that they will take a plane and fly from a different country, a
Yeah.
different state, because we document everything with photos. So you can see it. It's not what I say. It is like, I'll give you all the options and I'll tell you, why are you redoing something, right? Like we have a recent patient, they have done some implant for so many times and surgery so many times, it's failing because they never took the infection out. They put an implant right after an extraction. And that's a new trend now. Even biological dentists are doing extractions and putting an implant in. I have never seen a good result with that.
No, it doesn't even
Never.
sound right.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
But they're selling it, and obviously, I think that they're trying to skip a step and not allowing the patient's body just heal, detoxify, and then get the maximum health on that bone.
Okay.
You know, to
Yeah.
put an implant. So there's a lot of things that I try to educate the patients so you can make good decisions. You know what resonates well, and the options are many, right?
Yes.
So it's like, I'm here to educate you. And, that's why you're here, because you trust us. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Megan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.